Okay, okay, okay. Hey YouTube, I'm back. Was gonna skip today, but like I woke up and started looking at some games, so figured I'd just drop my thoughts on the stuff I was looking at and just let everybody know what my picks are gonna be for Sunday. So let's just go through them quick. I didn't have a lot of stuff I liked, but I had a few things I was interested in for the earlier games. So let's just go over the games from today and then we'll get to the new ones. So, channel record now up to 54 and 30. We ended up like going 4 and 3 today, so just barely staying afloat today. Definitely was a rough day. I thought I was gonna lose most of these games when I was watching them, but a couple of the teams pulled it off. So let's start with Houston. They did not cover. They actually struggled to beat Oklahoma State. So I was surprised. I mean, they've been looking kind of shaky. So I thought they were gonna have a big bounce back game and destroy this team, but I'm definitely wondering if they're as good as I thought. So they did not cover. Honestly, they ended up pulling away a little bit in the end, but they were down for a lot of the game. And the next game was UConn. This was another one. Like, I honestly always say that I don't bet Big East because I think all the teams are basically just the same team and anybody can win at any time. And this kind of confirmed that. I thought UConn was like a level above the rest of the conference, but I had never backed them in the past or watched many of their games. And at this point, yeah, I don't know that I trust them going into the conference after losing to Marquette. So another tough loss. Moving on to South Carolina plus 6.5. They pulled it off. They actually won outright. So this was a good one. It was a good game, and they pulled away at the end and won. Actually, they won by a last second three. This was about to go into overtime, and they like hit a last second three. So good job, South Carolina. Next game, the Retrievers, UMBC. They destroyed New Hampshire, kind of like I thought. I mean, New Hampshire is horrible, and UMBC is a pretty good team, so they just kind of came in and did what they were supposed to do. At the end of the first half, it was only a single-digit lead, so I was kind of iffy, but they ended up pulling ahead in the second half, and they won between 15 and 20 points. And then the next loss was Wofford. I thought Wofford was gonna go on a run in their conference tournament, but they just got eliminated. I was pretty sad to see them go, but whatever, they weren't good enough. I just don't think they were as good as I thought. So sad loss. But on to the last two were Georgia and Florida. So these two both covered by the hook. I'm so happy and lucky, but yeah, they literally just barely won. Georgia beat them by 6, and Florida won by 7 to Kentucky. And I mean, Florida looked great for most of the game. Like they just got caught sleeping at the end, and Kentucky actually made a run back, which was insane, but they ended up just being able to barely cover both of those. So really happy to just make it out with a positive record today. So let's see what we got for tomorrow. Alright, so first game's Campbell versus UMC Wilmington. I like UNC Wilmington. Not that like they're really doing a great job covering this number in conference because they're not, but Campbell's pretty bad. So they're getting whooped by any team that's even close to as good as UNC. So I like it for that reason. The line moved, so I'm gonna wait and see if I can get a 6.5. If I can get a minus 6.5, I think I would back UNC Wilmington because I think they're kind of locked in right now and they will win this game by double digits. So I'm gonna look for that, but as you can see, going on the road, Campbell is losing by 8 points to teams that are a lot worse than Wilmington. And when you look at the ranked samples of the best teams in their schedule, you got Campbell here losing by 9 points to teams that are again worse than UNC. So yeah, I like it. I'm gonna wait though, because I'm not really willing to buy in at minus 7.5 for sure, because they're just not covering that in conference on average. In the recent games, they look good, but just the fact that they're not covering it on average is just like, oof. Let's see. Just the last few games here. So they beat Elon by 11, which I honestly think is a comparable team to Campbell, but whatever. It's just like the fact that they didn't beat Campbell by this number either time they played. So it's like, okay, it's kind of iffy, but UNC Wilmington is good, and Campbell is just like not very good. So I'm gonna see what happens. See if I can get that number. Otherwise, I probably won't get on it. Next game, another game I think I missed the number on, but I really like Winthrop in this game. High Point had honestly a really easy schedule, even though they did win a lot that and are ranked high in Ken Palm. I honestly think they're overrated and overvalued. I haven't been impressed with their play in the tournament so far, even though I mean, they're winning by a margin, but they're not covering the spread, and they honestly went on a pretty hefty run at the end of the season that I kind of want to fade. So I'm gonna try to get Winthrop plus 7.5. I think that's what it opened up at. So I'll see if it bounces back at all. I still am willing to back them at 6.5 though, because I think at a neutral, like this is low key a pick 'em. Like High Point is only when you isolate the games to the like better games in High Point schedule, like the better teams, they're not really going crazy. I mean, they're winning by 8 points versus teams ranked 200. Okay, that's pretty good overall, but that's still teams that are a lot worse than Winthrop. And then versus similar sample of teams, Winthrop is also winning here, so it's like only really resulting in like a 4 point edge tops overall. And then when you look at their away samples of similar teams, there's no edge. You look at the ranked teams in the schedule, it's interesting because High Point is doing bad to teams that are ranked similar to Winthrop. They're actually only whooping on teams that are ranked a lot worse in conference. And Winthrop is holding their own against good teams. As you can see in the ranked sample for them, they're versing good teams and eking out wins. So they're only like a couple conference wins down from High Point. Like I don't think they're a much worse team. I think these teams are similar, and this is going to be a good game. It's just, I think the fact that at the end of conference play, High Point went on a pretty good, great run where they were whooping on teams. So I'll fade that if I can get a number that's pretty good. I'll consider the 6.5, but I'm going to definitely look for better. Next game is Queens University versus Central Arkansas. I like Queens here. I think that Central Arkansas's run is going to end. I think that they have been on a ridiculous tear at the second end of season. That is like, look at this. The trailing few, they're winning by 9 points to similar teams that they were winning by three against over the whole course of the second half of season. So, hmm, seems a little fishy. It seems like they're due for a little trouble here. Also, I mean, Queens is not losing, Queens University is not losing. I mean, I guess you look at their sample here of ranked games. I guess they are losing to teams that are worse than Central Arkansas, but Central Arkansas is also losing to teams that are like ranked similar to Queens. So it's like outside this recent conference play, I mean, there are reasons to believe that these teams are kind of similar. Like when you look at overall, when you look at both of them on the road, and when you look at the ranked, they're similar teams. Central Arkansas did just go on a run in conference, but I think like this elimination game is going to be literally fought to the bitter end between these two teams. So I definitely lean Queens. Is it enough points for me? Maybe not. Like, I usually like to get 4.5 if I think something's a pick 'em. I usually take 4.5, so I probably won't move on this, but I'm gonna consider it, especially if this pops up a little bit. Next game, Penn State at Rutgers. I'm definitely not going to touch this game. I mean, I have Rutgers winning between 2 and 4 points, and I think that's about right. I think Rutgers is better and they're playing at home, but I'm not laying 5.5 with them right now. Like, they're just, these teams are kind of similar, and Rutgers kind of whooped on them last time they played, so it could be like, it could be a close game. Penn State could be coming for their revenge, so I'm gonna not touch it. Next game is Boston University at Navy. I like Navy here. I don't know if I can actually get to the 7.5, but they are clearing this number at home and in second half of season and in trailing few games versus teams that are honestly as good as Boston University, if not, if just not just a little worse. So I like that, and like you don't really have a sample of Boston University facing teams like that are maybe as good as Navy, so I'll check what they did versus each other real quick. But it looks like most of these samples, Navy is clearing that. It's just like in the ranked, which is interesting that in the ranked, Navy is not doing as good versus teams that are, still a lot better than Boston University, but it's interesting that Boston University is going up against these teams that are ranked an average of 200 and barely losing. So I don't know that that sample is so good because the teams in that sample are like in between these two. So I don't really take that into consideration, really. I don't really think that these other ones are better. And when you're just like, when you take that ranked sample out, let's see what it would look like. So without those, you're getting between 4.5 and 9. Which I think is, I mean, I think Navy wins this game by double digits. I think they whoop Boston University. Boston University has had a lot of recent success. Like they've had a lot of like a lot of success in the last few games. Like they just won a few in a row, and I think they're due to get kind of crushed here. I don't think they really will be able to score a lot versus Navy's defense. So I like Navy, but again, this probably opened up at -6.5. So I'm gonna see if I can get that. I would love to get -6.5, and I would jump on it. Memphis at Tulane. I like Memphis here, honestly. I know they are horrible and they just look terrible, but their schedule was extremely hard. It was way harder than Tulane's. Like, yeah, the conference play was similar, but in conference play, Memphis played a little better. I mean, Memphis played better than this team, and if you look at the recent games, Tulane is just horrendous. Like, Tulane went on one short conference run that made them look okay. But other than that, I mean, they looked actually horrible the last 3 games. So, Memphis low key put up a fight against Florida too, South Florida, who is just so much better than both of these teams. So I really like Memphis. I think I'm gonna back them. It's like they just took so many L's in a row. Like, are you kidding me? No, they took all these L's. Like they've beat good teams in conference. Tell me they lost to Tulane. They took an L by 2 points to Tulane. Nah, this is revenge. Tulane is horrible. They just flew. They just. I mean, look, they just kept it within single digits with South Florida. South Florida is so much better than these two teams. I bet you watch what Tulane did when they played South Florida. They got whooped by almost 30 points. Tulane's horrible. Look, they had this one run where they beat North Texas and Rice, who aren't good. UAB, who's like not really good either. They have a terrible home environment too. And Temple, who is on the worst run of their life, shooting 20%. It's an exaggeration, but they were shooting horrible. And Temple came back around and absolutely destroyed them. So, I like Memphis. I'm only gonna bet that. This is gonna blow up in my face, I know it, but I'm betting Memphis. The one bet I like tomorrow. Alright. Temple at Tulsa. I would love to back Tulsa off of Temple just shooting like 60% from the field versus Tulane. Like Temple just shot such a ridiculous percentage versus Tulane after shooting like 35% for the last 10 games. So I think Temple is just due to have another horrible game, and Tulsa is actually a good team that can score, and they're at home. So I really like this, like Tulsa here, but like I've been backing them every game and they've been covering, so it's like I don't know if this can continue. Plus the fact that like I'm getting that the absolute outer range in my estimate at 11.5. So I really don't like that. I don't like that they really don't have this edge in conference play. Like looking at conference play, they have basically around a 10-point edge. I mean, yeah, I think that they have like a 10 to 11 point edge overall. So it's just like hard to lay that when that's the outer range kind of what I think they'll do. I mean, if you're looking at home versus away, yeah, they're whooping teams who are around the same as Temple by 15 points at home. So you look at something like that and it's pretty promising. I mean, overall, they're consistently winning by they 11.5 versus teams similar to Temple. Yeah, we don't even have anything that shows how Temple would do against a team like this. So let's just see real quick what happened last time they played, if they got absolutely destroyed or they might not have played. I honestly don't know that they did. Let's check it out. They didn't play each other. They did not play each other, which is crazy. So like the Golden Hurricane are gonna show up and just destroy them. That's what they do. It's like a completely meaningless game, last game of the season. That's why I worry that maybe Tulsa isn't going to come in and keep going crazy, but I think that's just what they want to do right now. I mean, look at the last three games. Like Charlotte somehow fought a close battle. They took a loss to South Florida, who's good. They somehow lost to UAB. That's a pretty bad loss, but losing to South Florida twice is understandable. South Florida is good. So Temple's horrible. So yeah, I like Tulsa. I might not even go for that many points though. It is a lot. It's just like like if it was like 10.5 again, I feel like I just missed all the good numbers on this slate, so I just should really not be betting it. But if I can get Tulsa 10.5, I'll jump in on that. Like I think Temple's due to get crushed after that ridiculous game they just had. Next game, East Carolina at UAB. I like East Carolina here by getting the 10.5. They're going on the road to UAB, but like UAB isn't really doing anything crazy at home. They're winning by 4 to teams that are a decent amount better, but yeah, I don't know, 'cause like East Carolina is not going on the road and losing by this much. Even looking in the best teams on the schedule, like East Carolina is only losing by 8 points. So I don't know. I think East Carolina has been doing okay in conference play, and UAB is just like not this much better than them to be beating them by that much in a game that probably means nothing. Like, let's check real quick before I close this out here. Where are they? UAB. Like, this game probably means nothing. Yeah, UAB is not catching up to Tulsa. Charlotte it cannot. UAB beat Charlotte, so Charlotte can't move up a seed. Oh wow. Well, maybe they can lose their spot if one of these teams win. Because like East Carolina isn't doing anything. I mean, the thing is, East Carolina is like out of the tournament. So Like they really have nothing to play for here. They can't get in no matter what. Okay, so UAB can potentially lose a seat, like fall down a seat if they lose, and East Carolina is playing for absolutely nothing. So for that reason, we'll probably lay off it, but yeah, I'm gonna lay off it for that reason, but I doubt UAB covers this. All right, Western Carolina versus East Tennessee State. I like East Tennessee State here. Like Western Carolina has been on a ridiculous run in conference, and I'm super willing to fade right now. Like they've been on a crazy run, even though second half of the season they're barely winning. Um, versus any decent team. I mean, when you're looking at them playing teams similar to East Tennessee, they're losing by almost 10 points. So it's like, yeah, bad teams they have been doing good against, which, okay, that's still impressive, but they're getting whooped by teams that East Tennessee is beating. So it's like, yeah, do they have they been technically playing better the last few games? Yeah, but I want to fade that for sure because looking at them both on the road, Western Carolina can't play on the road, and East Tennessee can. They can go on the road and hold close games with these teams that West Carolina is getting crushed by double digits. So I don't trust West Carolina going on the road. I think East Tennessee is the better team overall, too. Better team half the season, way better versus good teams. There's just this one sample that is, I think, causing East Tennessee State to be a little undervalued. So I think they kind of just destroy this team. But let's see if they've played each other. For some reason, I also don't think that they have. East Tennessee State versus Western Carolina. Oh, Western Carolina beat them twice. Oh, they're done. Yeah, I'm rolling with East Tennessee State. They lost twice. Now they get their revenge to eliminate them right here. Overall, more impressive team. They just happened to lose to them twice. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna fade them. And then hold on, let's just look at this crazy run they've been on too. That like I just don't believe it. Look at this. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7 wins. Like we're fading that. We have to. I don't have a choice. Yep. Dang. I like the worst games. Alright, so I'm rolling East Tennessee State here. That's like one of the few I'll probably grab. We'll check the spreads again, see what I can get. I wonder what it opened up at. Alright, okay. Last bonus special round here. I'm including an NHL play I want to do. So I updated my little spreadsheet to look at NHL games because I was just curious in the NHL market and seeing if it's efficient or not. So we're gonna try to find out. So what I got here is Minnesota at Colorado. Like I don't even know what these teams like actual names are. Let's try to look at that. So the reason why I like this game is because I think Colorado is due for a really serious bounce back. If you see trailing games, trailing 10 here is about the trailing 10. They're not doing so hot despite being the number one seed in their conference and a pretty good team overall. They play great at home. They have a huge edge overall and at home against this Minnesota team. And this Minnesota team has a couple injuries. Like they have like a very big vulnerability at their like left wing. Like two of their five left wings are injured, and one of the guy, his name's like Johannes or something. He contributes to a point almost every single game. So they have an injury weakness at the left wing. I think that's what the position. I'll learn more about this, but they are kind of primed to get whooped, honestly, by Colorado here. So I like Colorado on the money line a lot. I mean, obviously it's a minus 170 money line, but they have a 1 point edge on this team basically overall and at home. And this team has injury weaknesses. And I think Colorado is due for pretty much a bounce back run right here. So I'm going to take them on the money line and I'm going to parlay it with this next pick. This is probably going to lose, but it'll be a fun experiment. Okay, so the next one is Boston at Pittsburgh. So we are going to take Boston plus 1.5 minus the 250. So parlaying these two together, I was ending up with odds at like plus 122, which I was pretty happy with because Pittsburgh is missing Crosby and they're definitely spiraling and skidding out and going to take a bunch of losses here without him. They like had an injury bounce back and like did win a game or two without him, but they're on a 3 game losing streak doing horrible without him. Like overall, if you just look at how they play when he's not there, it's just so much worse. So to be able to get points with Boston against what I think is a complete pick 'em, I mean, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this game goes under either. Like I low-key like the under too, but like I'm gonna just take Boston plus 1.5 and I'm gonna parlay it with the other one, you know? Basically have a little plus money bet here. I usually never parlay anything, but we're gonna go for it. So that's what we're doing. As for the hockey parlay to end off, and I think the college picks I basically are gonna like is UNC Wilmington if I can get it at a cheaper number, at minus 6.5 or lower. I kind of like Winthrop here. I'm gonna try to get him at higher than this, maybe plus 7.5. I probably won't end up betting this one, but I do like Queen's University. I might just do it, but it's tough. It's gonna be a close game, so I could see Arkansas pulling it off. So it might be just too close. I'll probably pass on this. Definitely not touching this. I'll probably end up on Navy one way or another. I'm hoping I can get a better number. If not, I might just lay it with them to destroy this team. At home too is great. Their home crowd is probably gonna be there pretty hyped. Memphis I'm taking. Tulsa, I probably won't be able to take them in this completely meaningless game. I'm gonna consider it. I'm gonna like look at it again before it starts and decide. But I do like them to destroy Temple here, but I probably won't take it off just the incredible run Tulsa's been having destroying teams, like going into a pointless game at the end of the season. Like it probably is a look ahead to the tournament for them. East Carolina at UAB. I kind of like East Carolina, but I'm not gonna jump on this. There's a chance UAB does kind of come in and whoop on them, but I doubt it. I really do doubt it. Yeah, I don't know though. I'm probably not gonna touch it. Then the last game I am gonna take is probably East Tennessee here. So the ones I really like, wasn't there five? I mean, I'd be cool with five. Oh, maybe I'll take four college in the hockey play. So UNC if I can get it. But most likely Winthrop I'll take. So let's say I take Wilmington, Winthrop, Navy, Memphis, and East Tennessee State. Those would probably be the five I like. I do like all these. There's a chance I end up just laying all these. There really is. I really do kind of like them all. So the picks slash leans are UNC Wilmington, Winthrop. This one I wouldn't touch. Not that. Navy, Memphis, Tulsa, East Carolina, and East Tennessee State. So there they are. That'll do it. Thank you.